أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
So inshallah, I hope everything
Brother
goes
James,
well.
he has not said his shahada. He's still in the process of understanding the Islam. He's still in the process of trying to. He wants to learn more about it. Is that right? Yeah, he wants to learn. He wants to learn more about it so he understands Islam and then to say the shahada.
One thing with shahada, see the thing is, when you say shahada, you're not bound by anything. That's one thing you got to realize. For example, when you say shahada, doesn't mean that tomorrow you found a fault in Islam, you can't leave. So the suggestion is, because shahada is your peace with God.
Yeah.
Is that when you say shahada, you're saying that God, I'm with peace with you. I believe in you as one, which you do.
Yeah.
Sure, everybody does. Anyone with a sane mind would know that there must be one God. Otherwise, the whole system will not run so perfectly, right?
Of course.
And that prophets of God were men who God sent to us for our guidance, which is a natural thing. If there is a God that had made everything so perfectly with a purpose, then He must also tell us what our purpose is. He's not going to just let us go blindly and say, you live like that, you live like that, you live like that, create a tug of war between people. So He sends prophets. And we say the last prophet was Prophet Muhammad. So when you say shahada, that's what you're saying. It's what you already believe. But with that, once you say it, okay, if you were to die tomorrow, which is no guarantee that you won't, no human being on the face of the earth right now could say, I'll be alive in the next hour. But everyone can say that maybe I'll die. That's the most surest thing. Okay? So that's why the scholars suggest that for everyone to say the shahada. By that doesn't mean that now you owe anyone anything. But the only thing, you're making peace with God. Then after that, go do your research. And if you find a fault in Islam, then leave it. No problem. But we are 100% sure that you won't. That's 100%.
That's what I was saying before. Like it's something that I'm looking into. Like because I'm baptized Christian.
Yeah.
But it's something I'm looking into a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've seen the hypocrisies and the faults like in Christianity, and then I've looked at Islam and just seen the beautifulness and the truth and the peacefulness of it. You know what I mean? And that's what sort of brought me closer to it.
Oh, that's good.
There's one thing
The more
about
you dig in, the more you find beauty.
Exactly.
That's 100%.
There's
And
what-
like you said before, like sorry,
It's all right.
like you said before, like you do speak to different people and they got their own different like looks and perceptions on things and that. But I guess at the moment, because I don't know as much as like others, that I've sort of just taken bits and pieces of myself, sort of thing, and eventually once I talk to people, I make it.
Have you read the Quran?
I've just like because I've got an English version that I've got given, and that so yeah, I've gone through the surahs and stuff
Oh,
like
that's
that.
good.
Yeah.
That's the best thing to do, because don't look at the people and their perception of
Of
life.
course,
Go with yourself and what your heart says.
course,
And the best thing to do is read the Quran.
of course.
Read the Quran. And then if you got questions, then go to people,
Mm.
to scholars, not just any people.
I think it's just mainly like in the interpretation
Yeah.
that I ask. You know what I mean? Because I think like I read it and then it's just sort of like I want to make sure it's. Of course, I know what it's saying, but I want to make sure
Yeah.
that I'm interpreting it right. Because one thing I've always been told is like it's very easy for someone to interpret it like what I was saying like wrong. You know what I mean? So I want to always make sure that I'm interpreting it right.
They say that the Quran is a living book,
Mm.
and that all other books are dead books. The reason for that, they say, is that a dead book is a book like I've written a book, for example.
Mm.
You come along and read my book, but I'm not there.
Mm.
Now, my book is going to create questions in your mind,
Mm.
but I'm not there to explain to you what that is. So it's a dead book.
Yeah.
Okay? You will maybe benefit something from it, but I'm not there with you to tell you this is what I meant. This was behind it was my this, my that. Well, Quran is a living book because as soon as you open it, God's there.
Yeah.
And He directly speaks to you.
Yeah.
So you'll find,
It's his words.
yes, you'll find with Quran, the interpretation of Quran will change. Okay, the fundamentals don't change, but every day changes according to when you change.
Yeah.
If you're a happy person, you're going to see something else in the Quran. Same page.
Yeah.
If you're a sad person, that's why Quran is the only book that the human beings could read and read and read and read and read and read and yet never get bored. Because every day is telling you something new from the same thing. Same page, just read the same page every day. Because you change, the Quran's telling you according to what you think that day. Because God is life there with you that day. So that's why, go with your heart with the Quran, read it inshallah.
Yeah.
But our recommendation still, say the Shahada,
Yeah.
so that you make that peace with
Peace
God.
with God, yeah.
That's if you sit with your heart. If not, we're not
It
able
definitely does.
to force anyone to say the Shahada or anything. But just a brotherly suggestion, that's what I've heard from scholars, because we don't know when death's going to come. At least we could say, I made peace with you. I made peace with you. And it's just a sentence, right? So just a sentence. It takes a lifetime to actually bring you into your life. To say that there is only one God, and then go through your life, in your business, with your wife, with your children, with your people, with your neighbors, with yourself, to actually bring it into action takes lifetime. So it's something that you say and then put in action later. So it's up to you. If you feel like it, say it. If not, whenever you do.
Something I am ready to do.
You want to say it now, Shalom? Huh? Yes, say it.
You read the same,
But one thing before you say it, they say that for the brothers and sisters that were Christians before, one thing that always the scholars also say is, first they say, whenever people say Shahada, they say, look, you have not been forced. Because sometimes people might get forced. So they don't want the scholar make sure that this brother is not forced. Because a forced person in Islam is a hypocrite. Because in the mouth they say it, but in the heart they're not going to believe it. And a hypocrite's in the lower hell than a person who doesn't believe. So we don't want to create hypocrites. That's why the scholars say, nobody's forced to get it. Another thing to the Christian brothers and sisters they say is that do you feel and believe that Jesus is not the Son of God, but a prophet of God and a messenger of God? That's it. And then you can repeat what he says and he'll tell you the meaning of it, inshallah.
So what I'm just about to say to you, no one has forced you on this, to say that you're doing it for your own goal, is that right? Okay, inshallah we're going to start. It's Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu. The meaning is that I bear witness. You just repeat after me. I bear witness. There's no any other God except Allah. And the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, is the final messenger and the slave of Allah. And Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
Now you scare the poor guy.
Give him a hug, everybody. We have to give him a new name too, right?
Nej, jag har Ola mamma är nago in number. Oh,
Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah.
Just give the